I am told that is Moosehead Lake. We're going to have to take your word for it because it's kind of foggy out there, but it's going to be a beautiful start and a balmy. I mean, we've had a lot of January 1st, Mallory, where it's like too cold to go outside. Today will not be one of those days. Good morning.
Exactly. We are looking at a day where you are going to be able to get out, maybe take a later walk this morning if you're up late last night. Not one of those days where you're just kind of holding up in your house, which we've had those prior to Christmas, and I'm sure we'll have them again before we are to springtime. But the fog is lifting across a lot of the area this morning, which is going to yield some partial sunshine, and it's still mild. The wind will pick up, so you'll notice that if you are headed out today as well. Tomorrow will be cooler. I'm not calling this cold. It's not really an overwhelmingly cold air mass, but it's cooler. And then the next storm system that comes in will be on Tuesday, and it's going to have a little bit of precipitation come in while that cool air mass is in place for inland areas. So we're talking about freezing rain potentially and some snow across inland and northern areas of the state Tuesday. Not so much for the coastline. We'll get to that when we get to our maps in just a moment. But we are looking at a beautiful start to the day. You can see out in the distance the layer of fog, but that's about it. We are going to keep those temperatures in the 40s. They may go up a degree or two, maybe 3, before they steady and then come down. That will be different in inland areas where you might be at your warmest part of the day right now. We have rain leaving the eastern half of the state. We have some snow that is going to be moving into the mountainsides briefly as the storm system departs, but we can see that rain changing to snow just south of Quebec and into portions of the county this morning. So we could get a quick little burst of snow shower activity if you are headed out in the next couple of hours. That could make some slick roadways as temperatures continue to fall. We're in the upper 30s for the northern part of the state, mostly into the 40s at the coastline, and we will stay there for the next couple of hours before we start to see those temperatures come down. Fog is still an issue. We had a dense fog advisory for several counties this morning. Half-mile visibility into Holton, 2.5 miles into Millinocket, half-mile into Waterville. Not as bad into Augusta. That's increased a little bit, but we're down to a quarter-mile visibility into Lewiston. So a lot of areas of the Turnpike and 95 dealing with that this morning. Through the rest of the day, as I mentioned, temperatures peak in the morning. They may steady by noontime, and then they're going to come down. A mix of sun and clouds for today with those snow showers into the higher terrain areas possible. Into Monday, we wake up to temperatures around freezing at the coast, 20s inland. A few snow showers for the mountains continuing, but otherwise it's a pretty quiet day. School's not back. Most are off from work still for the holidays, so not really needing to do too much outdoors. And it's not, again, it's not a cold air mass, but it is going to be colder. Then we get into Tuesday, and this is with this next storm system coming in. So everyone's getting back to work, getting back to school, and we could be talking about freezing rain and snow for some areas. So there could be some extended vacations. We have to watch this one closely. Of course, any little bit of ice can make things very slick, and this will come in later Tuesday morning into the early afternoon. Eventually, we'll wash out the cold layer and we'll change all to rain, but then we will warm up significantly into Wednesday before we crash on Thursday. You'll see that in the 7-day. Overnight tonight, temperatures 20s and 30s. Still going to be very breezy on the water today with gusts 25 to 30 knots. We are looking at this being one of the warmer days of the week, minus Wednesday before we pop up ahead of that big cool down. So we could have the freezing rain for inland areas. That's coming in on Tuesday into the late morning, likely changing to rain later on. Not going to be a concern for the coastal areas, as it would be more of that inland cold air damming scenario. We do have showers possible on Wednesday. That's our warm day ahead of the system coming in. And then we have a big crash in temperatures toward the end of the week, which could include a little bit of snow along with it.